here's something that might be a shock to some of you. I grew up on welfare and food stamps with not enough to eat some days, and not enough to go around for the 7 kids and 2 adults in my family. But here's something else you might know about me. I never let that be a thing that ever once stopped me. And I could give you a ton of examples of that, but I'm going to put it in a context of something that had to do with overall health and managing your energy. So this morning I'm on a call that's an building your energy call, like getting into the vibration of how you want to feel every day, how you want to walk through life, how you want to move through your environment, how you want to attract the right people, that kind of energy work, because yes, it matters. And I know this to be true because throughout my whole life, I have been given examples of how managing your energy level also manages the things that you have or don't have in this life, including your health. And excuse that towel. I'm on my way to pick up my son to take him to swim practice. So on the call this morning, this was about like getting the things that you want in this life and how do you build up the vibrational energy to get the things you want in life. And one of the things that I want in life is for, at any income bracket, people to be able to afford their health. That's one of the things I want in life. Because I have been the person who says I simply can't afford it. But I think I've also handled it differently. So the woman on the call this morning was saying, don't talk about something that was a deal. Like, don't talk about, oh yeah, I got it on like a half off discount and I only paid this much for it, and it was such a steal. Instead, talk about the value of it. So like, I'm sitting next to this building and another one that's going up, and I wonder if that building will pay itself off in 2 years or 5 years, because it's at least $1 million going into that building. And this one was probably including the parking lot, $500,000 in design and construction. And so I wonder what they're charging in rent to make that up in less than 5 years. But the thing about the deal is, because ladies, who doesn't love a deal, right? All of us, right? I think from a young age, I looked at the value of the object for me as opposed to how cheap can I get it. So from about the age of 14, because that's when I got my first, it wasn't my first job. Shh, don't tell. It doesn't matter. It was a government program for low-income families. At the age of 12, I got my first job. I was cleaning houses for people with disabilities. My check came from the IRS. No joke. It was a government job for low-income families. But my first, outside the home job, I got at 14. I mean, outside the home. I worked in an Italian restaurant in my hometown. Okay? So with that money, I was responsible for paying my car insurance. I was responsible for buying my own clothes. I was responsible for if I wanted to go out or not with my friends. I was responsible if I was going to a school dance. I was responsible for my swim team uniforms. I was responsible for new goggles. I was responsible for all of it, right? So one of the things I did when I started swimming with this one particular group, because it was a very, the high school I went to was a very high income area, and I was not high income. And so I went to the coaches and was like, we all know I'm a good swimmer. I've got this. I just need a little support. And they were like, well, how do you need support? And I was like, swimsuits are pricey. And they're like, okay, we get demo suits all the time. What size do you wear? And I was like, I'm a 30. And they're like, okay, great. I got free suits for 3 years to practice in. Free suits. And that was of huge value to me, right? Because I could then show up to practice in a suit once a month it was a new suit, and then, I wore it and it was no longer new, but goggles, stuff like that like would normally cost someone enough money that they chose not to participate. I still participated because I just said, look, this is, in order to be on this team, this is what I need. And they were like, okay, we've got you covered. But then also, a lot of my clothes came from Goodwill, or in my hometown, we had this like once a month swap meet type, but they were new clothes with tags on them. But they were like, even Ross and Marshalls didn't buy the lot clothes. And I would go and say, okay, I am looking for this amazing deal because I'd really like a brand new this, or that, right? So I manifested in those situations multiple times, brand new with the tag still on Levi's for 50 cents. At the time, Levi's were selling for around $40 a pair. When I was in 6th grade, I even manifested the Guess skinny jeans that were slit up the back to like mid-calf with the bows on the back. And if you were born in 1979, that'll mean something to you. If not, it'll mean nothing to you. But they were the it jeans to have. About 10 years ago, I was looking at this gorgeous, stunning black with teal embroidery Ariat ATS mid-calf boots, cowboy boots. And they were originally $490. And I looked at them and thought, I have 2 other pairs of cowboy boots. They're not worth $490 to me. I don't need them. But then every time I put on an outfit that I thought they would look good with, I would say, oh, those boots would really look good with this pair of jeans. Or those boots would accentuate this stitching on this pair of shorts. Or those boots would match really well with this shirt. Okay, for some of you, this doesn't mean anything to you, but I wear a women's 11 narrow. Okay? Cute shoes in an 11 narrow are like a unicorn. Okay? I kept talking about how amazing these boots would look with different outfits, and I didn't pay $490 for them. I paid $150. $150 they went on sale. They were the only pair that went on sale, was the one pair in my size. So yeah, they were a killer deal, but they went with me and like a third of my wardrobe. And so I kept talking about how valuable they would be for my wardrobe. But here's the thing. You can do that with your health too. Literally everyone in my immediate family has an autoimmune disorder. Everyone, except me. Me having enough energy to get through the day. Me having enough energy to work a full-time job. Me having the energy to be 100% present for my kids. Me having less pain for my kids, for my husband, for my clients, for my ability to go swim, to go for a run, to go for a bike ride, all holds extreme value for me. And there are points of my life that have held luck, right? Like I grew up in California where literally if a bird drops a seed in the ground, it sprouts a tree. Like that's how well things grow in California, in the Central Valley. But I didn't grow up with the same finances, and I took the educational opportunities that I was given and I absorbed everything I could out of them. And I, in turn, led that into a career for health, wellness, and longevity. See, some people are going to say low-income areas have a disproportionate under support. But I'm going to say, yeah, I grew up on government cheese too. You get to choose what you do with the information that is everywhere and whether or not you internalize it or you push it away because it doesn't fit your narrative. And by Thanksgiving, I'll have an app that bridges that gap anyway. If you're interested in an app to help you support all of your health goals, comment app in the comment section for me.